What have you guys learned from engaging with the sports industry over time? What can they teach?
Yeah, if you compare the two industries, I would say that the sports industry is pretty much top down, right? Where the tech industry, especially the young tech industry, is way more we do it together, and if you have the best idea, then that should count, right? And it should not be, oh, great idea, but you're still a junior, so we're not going to listen to you. For us was the biggest learning that we should not be just part of the team. We also should have this, like this goal should be the main thing that we need to focus on. And sometimes that also means that you have to make tough decisions, right? So I think the balance between those things, I don't think that a complete hierarchical model is the way to go. Just having a lot of debates and not going anywhere, which could also sometimes happen in startups, is not the way to go either. So having that right balance and that right mindset in the middle, that's where, for me, a perfect spot lies.
What areas of sports tech are exciting you most?
I'm just really curious where data extraction from games towards consuming that in new manners will take us. We're already in talks with great leagues on how to get sports data into the metaverse. If you take that, like the metaverse, from like a sandbox or a Roblox all the way to maybe even your game console, if that's like the area that we're talking about, just having it consumed in a different manner, I think we're going to step into an era where user-generated content is going to be a dominant thing, like YouTube has been a user-generated content platform for other things than sports. If you think of it, right now there's one guy in an OB truck sitting next to the stadium in Al Bayt, Qatar, doing the World Cup final, and whatever he thinks is right is what the rest of the world should consume and how we consume it. But if you look at any other industry and or entertainment industry, that's no longer the case. Like, people make their own clips, that do their own productions, they become little broadcasters for themselves, and then it's the choice of me as a consumer which story I believe most. So if I want to go to I don't know, more anime version, or I want to go to a more hyper realistic version, or I want to go to tactics only kind of, that's up to me. But right now, that's only controlled by one guy, and most likely by whatever his bosses tell him that you need to tell him, right? So, and that dynamic for me is going to shift.
What do you do away from the office? What tips can you give to other founders to stay sane?
If I'm super honest, not much. It's mainly just a job, basically. Yeah, obviously there's working out, spending time with family, all the good stuff. But yeah, the company is definitely the main focus.
Going back to the story earlier, is that I just trust Nico in his expertise. Doesn't mean that I can challenge him on that, but in the end of the day, I just trust that whatever Nico thinks is right for on the technical side of things, that should be it. And I got the same feeling from him on what I do on the business side of things. And by doing so, making these long hours doesn't really feel like making long hours, because it feels like a good thing to do. And then for us, finally, we are allowed to travel again. For us, being away from the office and just having fresh influences from either a different city or a different culture, or just being on the road and stuck together in an airplane for 8 hours, that's where the new stuff comes up.
What typically keeps you guys as founders up at night? Like, is it investors? Is it customers? Is it problems you're tackling on a daily basis in the office?
Yeah. So one of the things that we had to learn, I think, one of the things we had to learn was that even though that you still think that you're just being part of the team, people don't really look at you anymore. You're the boss, so to say, and that comes with things that you didn't sign up for when you wrote down your vision and the goal that you want to go to, right? So suddenly you see yourself stuck in a debate on how many days is healthy to have a working from home versus working at the office balance, like, but also some fun stuff, like as in we're going to make every employee that works for us part of our company, like, because we truly believe that we do it together, and therefore we need to put the money where our mouth is.
What's next? What's next for Beyond Sports? Why should people watching this be watching you guys closely?
Yeah, so we recently changed our payoff from changing the way sports being consumed to being the gateway for live sports into the metaverse. And it's not so much that we pivot our company, because actually, like behind the scenes, that was already happening for a long time. We were getting ready to be that sort of middle layer before data from a real match goes into wherever it needs to go. But that's where our biggest focus will be on. And for me, that's where the growth path lies for sports anyways, in different parts of the world in different manners. And it's also the intersection of where Web3 and metaverses come together, where they collide, and how we can monetize sports for the foreseeable future.
It all comes down to the user-generated content, right? So getting, like someone is mentioning metaverse, but really getting like this live match simulation into builder platforms and having people interact with it on their own and creating their own broadcast almost in a virtual environment that way. Yeah, we see that as a future in sports for sure.
Amazing. I was waiting for an argument, a founder's argument there, but you guys are clearly aligned.
Let's see if our vision comes through in a couple of years. Let's do this in a couple of years again.
For sure, we're watching and excited to see what the future holds. So thanks again, guys, for your time today, and yeah, we'll speak soon.